Hey Raiders fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Las Vegas Raiders. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. Rich Gannon's words hit the NFL world like a sudden jolt of electricity, not because they were aggressive or inflammatory, but because they were calm, calculated, and brutally honest. When a former MVP and one of the most respected quarterbacks in Raiders history speaks openly about the franchise's future, people listen differently. Gannon did not come across as a bitter ex-player or an outsider throwing stones. Instead, his tone carried the weight of someone who understands what it truly takes to build a championship culture and recognizes how far the Raiders still are from that standard. According to the speculation swirling around his comments, Gannon believes the Raiders are stuck in a dangerous middle ground, not bad enough to fully reset, but not strong enough to realistically chase titles. He hinted that talent alone is not the issue, suggesting that the organization has capable players but lacks the structural investment required to elevate them. This includes deeper spending on development, smarter roster construction, and a long-term vision that goes beyond quick fixes. For a franchise with such a rich and intimidating legacy, those words sting. The Raiders' brand has always been associated with dominance, fear, and rebellion. Yet Gannon's remarks suggest that image now lives more in memory than reality. The speculation is not that he is attacking the team, but that he is challenging it. In the modern NFL, nostalgia does not win games, and reputation does not intimidate opponents. Gannon's statement feels like a warning flare, signaling that without serious internal changes, the Raiders risk becoming permanently irrelevant in the championship conversation, no matter how loud the stadium gets or how passionate the fan base remains. What made this rumored declaration even more shocking was the emphasis Rich Gannon reportedly placed on leadership, not just from players, but from the very top of the organization. In speculative circles, his words are being interpreted as a subtle critique of ownership and front office direction, suggesting that winning titles requires more than just drafting well or signing recognizable names. Gannon supposedly pointed out that elite franchises invest heavily in stability, accountability, and clear chains of command, areas where the Raiders have struggled to find consistency. Over the years, the team has cycled through coaches, philosophies, and roster strategies, creating an identity crisis that players feel even if fans do not see it on the surface. According to the rumor mill, Gannon believes that leadership is not about speeches or slogans, but about alignment. Everyone must be moving in the same direction, from scouting departments to coaching staffs to locker room veterans. Without that unity, talent becomes fragmented and potential is wasted. His comments allegedly hinted that young players entering the Raiders system do not always receive the guidance or structure needed to reach elite levels. Instead, they are forced to adapt to constant change, learning new schemes and expectations year after year. This environment, as speculated, makes sustained success nearly impossible. Gannon's perspective carries weight because he played during a time when the Raiders had a clear identity and a strong internal hierarchy. By comparison, his remarks imply that the current version of the franchise lacks a unifying voice capable of setting standards and enforcing them. If leadership does not evolve, Gannon's warnings suggest the Raiders will continue chasing short-term hope instead of long-term dominance. Another layer of intrigue surrounding Rich Gannon's rumored statement is his focus on financial commitment, a topic that often makes organizations uncomfortable. Speculation suggests he argued that in today's NFL, winning championships demands aggressive and intelligent investment, not reckless spending, but purposeful allocation of resources. Gannon allegedly believes the Raiders have been too cautious in certain areas that do not show up on highlight reels, such as analytics departments, sports science, coaching depth, and player wellness infrastructure. These are the unseen advantages that elite teams quietly build, while others focus only on splashy signings. According to insiders interpreting his comments, Gannon feels the Raiders have treated these investments as optional luxuries rather than necessities. In a league where margins are razor thin, That mindset can be the difference between playoff appearances and championship parades. He reportedly emphasized that players notice these things. When athletes see an organization investing in their longevity, preparation, and growth, it builds trust and buy-in. Without that, motivation becomes individual rather than collective. Gannon's words, as speculated, were not about spending money recklessly, but about understanding where money actually wins games. The Raiders, with their massive brand value and passionate fan base, theoretically have the power to be leaders in this area. Yet, according to this narrative, they have often lagged behind the league's most progressive franchises. Gannon's message appears to be that championships are built in offices and meeting rooms long before they are decided on the field. If the Raiders do not embrace that reality, no amount of raw talent will be enough to bridge the gap. The emotional weight of Rich Gannon's rumored remarks becomes even heavier when considering the expectations surrounding the Raiders fan base. This is a community that prides itself on loyalty, toughness, and resilience, qualities that mirror the franchise's historic identity. Gannon allegedly acknowledged this passion while also implying that fans deserve more than hope and hype. According to speculation, he suggested that the organization has leaned too heavily on the emotional connection of its supporters, assuming patience will always be infinite. However, modern NFL fans are more informed than ever, understanding roster building, cap management, and long-term planning. Gannon's comments are being interpreted as a call to respect that intelligence. He reportedly hinted that fans can handle rebuilds and strategic patience if they believe there is a coherent plan. What they cannot accept indefinitely is confusion disguised as ambition. The Raiders have made moves that look bold on the surface but lack follow-through, creating cycles of excitement followed by disappointment. Gannon's rumored warnings suggest that this pattern erodes trust, not just among fans, but within the locker room. Players feel it when expectations are unclear and goals shift midstream. The speculation is that Gannon wants the Raiders to stop chasing perception and start building substance. In a league dominated by franchises that plan several years ahead, emotional decision-making becomes a liability. His comments seem to urge the Raiders to honor their fan base, not with slogans or throwback imagery, but with a disciplined commitment to sustainable success. That kind of respect, Gannon implies, is the foundation of championships. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of his rumored declaration is how it positions Rich Gannon not as a critic, but as a potential voice of guidance. Speculation suggests that his comments were delivered with a sense of responsibility, almost as if he feels obligated to speak up for the franchise he once led. Gannon reportedly made it clear that he wants the Raiders to succeed, not just be competitive, but to truly contend for titles again. His tone, according to those dissecting his words, was not dismissive but challenging. He allegedly believes the Raiders are capable of greatness if they are willing to confront uncomfortable truths. That includes admitting past mistakes, reevaluating leadership structures, and committing fully to a modern football philosophy. Gannon's experience as a quarterback gives him a unique perspective on organizational dysfunction. He understands how quickly a locker room can fracture when messaging from the top is inconsistent. The speculation is that he sees warning signs that others may be ignoring or downplaying. His statement, then, becomes less about criticism and more about urgency. Time in the NFL moves fast, and windows close without warning. Gannon's message suggests the Raiders are at a crossroads, where decisive action could change the franchise's trajectory for years. Ignoring these signals, however, risks cementing mediocrity as the new normal. His words feel like a final nudge, a reminder that history alone does not guarantee a future. The ripple effects of Rich Gannon's rumored comments extend beyond the Raiders themselves, sparking broader conversations about what it truly means to build a championship team in the modern NFL. Analysts and fans alike are speculating that his statement reflects a growing divide between franchises that evolve and those that cling to outdated models. Gannon allegedly pointed out that leadership today requires adaptability, humility, and a willingness to learn from others, even rivals. The Raiders, according to this narrative, have sometimes operated as if their identity alone sets them apart, when in reality, innovation is what separates contenders from pretenders. His remarks seem to suggest that the league has passed by organizations unwilling to modernize their approach. This includes embracing data-driven decision-making while still respecting football instincts, a balance that only the best teams achieve. Gannon's words also highlight the importance of internal accountability. Championships are not built by blaming injuries, bad luck, or officiating, but by controlling what can be controlled. The speculation is that he sees too many excuses and not enough ownership within the organization. His message resonates because it comes from someone who has lived through both success and disappointment. Gannon knows how rare championship opportunities are and how easily they slip away. His rumored declaration serves as a broader lesson to the entire league, but especially to the Raiders, that winning titles demands relentless self-evaluation. Without that mindset, even the most iconic franchises risk fading into irrelevance, remembered more for what they were than what they could have been. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The speculation surrounding Rich Gannon's statement continues to grow because many believe his words may also be directed at the future quarterback situation of the Raiders, even if he never mentioned names. According to the way his comments are being interpreted, Gannon hinted that true leadership on the field starts under center, but it must be supported by an organization willing to protect, develop, and empower that position. The rumor is that he feels the Raiders have failed to create an environment where a quarterback can organically become the unquestioned leader of the locker room. Constant turnover, shifting offensive philosophies, and inconsistent messaging make it nearly impossible for any signal caller to establish long-term authority. Gannon, having lived the pressure of that role, allegedly understands that quarterbacks sense instability faster than anyone else. When a quarterback does not fully trust the infrastructure around him, leadership becomes reactive rather than commanding. The speculation suggests Gannon believes the Raiders need to stop searching for instant saviors and instead commit to building around a clear vision, allowing leadership to grow naturally over time. This requires patience from ownership, coaches, and fans alike. His rumored warning implies that without this patience, the franchise will remain trapped in a cycle of short-term fixes that never fully address the core issue. Leadership cannot be forced or marketed. It must be cultivated. Gannon's message seems to underline that championships are won when the quarterback, the coaching staff, and the front office speak the same language, operate under the same expectations, and trust one another completely. Until that alignment exists, the Raiders' ceiling will always be limited. Another angle fueling speculation is the belief that Rich Gannon's words were also meant as a reflection on culture, something that cannot be measured by statistics or headlines. According to those analyzing his rumored declaration, Gannon feels the Raiders have lost the hard-edge culture that once made them feared, replacing it with a more superficial version of toughness. True culture, as he allegedly implied, is not about slogans, uniforms, or attitude, but about daily habits and standards that never waver. Gannon reportedly suggested that championship teams hold everyone accountable, from star players to depth pieces, and that no one is bigger than the system. The speculation is that he sees inconsistencies in how standards are enforced within the Raiders organization, leading to mixed signals in the locker room. When accountability is selective, culture erodes quietly. Players notice who is held responsible and who is protected. Over time, that imbalance chips away at trust. Gannon's rumored remarks imply that rebuilding culture is far harder than rebuilding a roster, but far more important. Talent can be acquired quickly, but belief takes time. His message appears to be that the Raiders need leaders who are willing to make unpopular decisions in the short term to establish long-term credibility. This includes demanding excellence, even when results are not immediate. According to the speculation, Gannon believes the Raiders must choose whether they want to be comfortable or great, because the two rarely coexist. Culture, once restored, becomes the foundation upon which titles are built. Ultimately, The lasting impact of Rich Gannon's rumored declaration may be how it reframes expectations for the Raiders moving forward. Instead of asking when a next big signing will arrive or which bold move will generate headlines, his words encourage a deeper conversation about direction and identity. The speculation suggests Gannon wants the Raiders to redefine success before chasing it. Winning titles is not about isolated moments of brilliance, but about sustained excellence created through discipline, investment, and leadership. His message feels like a reminder that shortcuts rarely lead to championships, no matter how tempting they may seem. Gannon allegedly believes the Raiders are at a defining moment, where the decisions made behind closed doors will matter far more than anything said publicly. This is not about rebuilding for sympathy or selling hope. It is about earning respect through consistency. According to the narrative forming around his comments, Gannon sees a franchise with enormous potential that is being underutilized by fragmented vision. His words resonate because they challenge everyone involved, from executives to players to fans, to raise their standards. The speculation is that if the Raiders truly listen, his declaration could become a turning point rather than just another headline. But if ignored, it risks becoming a painful reminder of an opportunity missed, reinforcing the idea that championships are not promised by legacy, only by relentless commitment to doing things the right way. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.